Hey guys, and welcome back to Garden of Kayland. Hey guys, I'm Kayla and welcome back. Today we are doing part 2 of my 2024 summer plant tour. It's going to be a long one, so sit back and relax. I hope you enjoy. And if you haven't seen part 1 yet, go check that out. And now let's pick up where we left off. So the last time I ended right here on my stairs. So I'll just pick up right where I left off. Right here is my Pothos Enjoy. Can you believe I got this from a grocery store for $10? It wasn't quite this big at the time that I got it, but it's been putting out some new growth. As you can see, it's starting to get a little less of that, well, none of that cream color because I have it in a darker spot here, but I think it's serving its purpose. And then I have these cute little acrylic shells that I got from Five Below with a Syngonium. Don't give me the line because I don't know which one it is. And then, of course, I have another Philodendron Brazil. The idea was to get it to grow all the way up this wall, but it didn't quite work out that way. Now I want to move up here where I have some plants on this wall. There's a lot that I want to do with this wall, but since we're going to get this painted, I just didn't do too much. Well, I didn't do what I consider too much. Some of y'all might be like, you kind of did a lot already. I've got an asparagus fern, and these are just little self-watering planters that I got off Amazon. I have another Rhaphidophora tetrasperma, kind of going crazy and out of control. A neon pothos with a few splashes of that darker green. This one has it too. So that's always a cute little plus. My lemon lime maranta, which I cannot believe is doing so good. I have a few browning tips, but that's okay. Considering that this is a maranta that I'm keeping alive, I'll take a few brown tips here and there. It'll be okay. This Ripsalis is a little bit pitiful. I'm not gonna lie, but it's here and it's not dead. And then kind of the star of the show, well, I say that a little bit lightly too, because it's looking a little sad and the leaves are getting pretty small. But this is a heartleaf philodendron that's kind of started doing its own thing. I don't know what direction it wants to go in. I mean, I do, but it's kind of like at one point it was going around that wall. I don't know, it's just weird. So I just let it do its thing. Hopefully it doesn't get too high. But what I was saying is that I want to paint all of this stairwell because it's white and the kids going up and down the stairs, there's always like fingerprints on the wall. So like I said, I didn't want to do too much. I feel like I'm going to put a little bit more effort into this once it gets painted, but I just kind of run up the stairs because I can't stand, you can't really tell on camera, but I just can't stand all the fingerprints and like grime on the wall. So yeah, next is this little area. So I have a very dramatic variegated peace lily right here. And yeah, there's a lot going on there, but it'll be fine. And then another philodendron here. I think this one is the Macaulay's Finale. I'm actually surprised at how much it's grown from being in this dark corner, but maybe this mirror beside it is helping out. I don't know, but yeah, the leaves are coming out kind of crazy. I'll take it. Another Brazil propagation in pond. This one actually looks really good. It's very vibrant to be in such a dark area. A lemon marine pothos, kind of, you know, forgotten about, I guess. This was at some point a snake plant, but I don't know what happened. I watered it and it did that. And then another, I think this is another, either a global green or a lemon marine pothos. Okay, so moving along, this is the baby's room and he has the cutest little monstera sheets. I know, I'm out of control. So I have a big, crazy, wild Periso Verde right here. It gets pretty hot up here. So I guess I'm getting some good variegation, or I was getting some good variegation. And then I got these like twice as big leaves with little to no variegation on them. I don't really know. This thing is acting like kind of crazy. Look, there's no variegation on this leaf. I don't know what's going on. Look at this big guy. No variegation. So I don't know. This is a south-facing window. I don't really understand what's happening here, but I honestly don't really care. I think I'm going to end up cutting it right here. It's just a little bit too, like, let me stand back so you can see. It's a little bit too crazy for my taste. It's just all over the place. Another Syngonium right here that I got from a big box store for like $5 last year. And I keep forgetting to water it. So, you know, it's hit or miss. Got another Syndapsis Satin Jade here. And once it starts to really grow, it's been sitting here for a while. So I don't know what's going on. It gets good sun, but anyway, once it starts to get going, I think it's going to look really good in contrast with the black wall. That was the idea that I had when I put it there, but it just hasn't really done much. More satin pothos here that you can't really see because of the lighting. Great view though, by the way. And then I have this Hoya, I think Crimson Princess. That's doing really good in this window. And I can't forget this little Micans right here. I rescued it from outside at a big box store and, well, it's still coming around. This is my kids' bathroom. I don't have a lot of stuff in their bedrooms or bathrooms for obvious reasons, unless I can like hang them. But this was a great spot for this Ripsalis. This is one of my favorite hanging plants of all time. I think it looks so interesting and weird. It also looks really spiky, but it's not. It's more on the fuzzy side than it is like the sharp, spiky side. But yeah, this is one of my favorite plants. And it also seems to like the humidity from this bathroom. So I ended up hitting the jackpot with this spot for it. And then a little corner table with a few plants on it. They were struggling where I had them before. So these are the plants that like really were stressed out from either being too hot or too dry. And I put them here in this bathroom where it's not getting crazy light. Like that's a north facing window. So it's not getting super crazy light in here, but it's just enough for these. It seems like this alocasia kept getting spider mites. I got those under control since putting it in here. And even this variegated peace lily is doing a whole lot better in here. Yeah, this is like, oh my gosh, I didn't realize how full this was getting. This looks great. So yeah, this is just a great spot for plants that are on the struggle bus and I need them to tone it down a bit. I don't know which philodendron this is. If you know, leave it in the comments, but it's doing good in here too. I actually love how the leaves are kind of paddle-like. I don't know, something about it. It's plain, but I like it. This is the upstairs hallway. I actually found this birchwood log thingy a few years ago and it took me a while to figure out what to do with it, but once I figured it out, it was perfect. I've got little pothos right here that's kind of going all the way downstairs. Well, it's not going all the way downstairs, but you know, that's my dream. But it gets pretty decent morning light from this window right here, as does this Hartley philodendron with the tiny little leaves doing the same thing. And then I used to have air plants in here, but I forgot about them. So that's where we are now. Another plant I forgot about was this pink princess. It had spider mites and it had real good variegation on it too. It still does, but I just got tired of fighting with it. So I watered it one day and just set it here and kind of forgot about it, and we'll see what happens with it. This was a dead peace lily that I thought was gone. I just left it here because I liked the basket and it started growing one day. So I was like, okay, well, more power to you. This is the kids' room. They have just a few plants in here. Like this Monstera sotapacana that was struggling in my office. I guess it was getting too much light and it had spider mites really, really bad. You can kind of still see some of the damage. I actually need to check it and see if it still has them. But yeah, it was in rough shape. And so I put it in here and it's been growing still, but like I said, I still need to be checking to see if there are spider mites. Entangled in that Monstera is this philodendron something that was also struggling for a while. I had to cut almost the whole thing back, save for this leaf. And then now it's finally starting to grow new leaves. The Monstera kind of tries to grow down in there, but I just come in here and kind of tuck it up on this bar. Anyway, so yeah, that's a no name, I don't know what it is, philodendron right there. A crazy Sansevieria. It's looking like struggle bus as well. Hanging up here is a out of control golden pothos. And then I have a silver striped philodendron here as well that I just cut a lot off of because yeah, long plants down to the floor in a boy's bedroom just don't mesh. And then there's this dogtail cactus, I think it's called. Anyway, they liked it last year, so I got it. And well, here it is. So this is my office. This is the grand finale. This is why I was rushing to get through everything else because we're going to spend quite a while just in this room alone. So I have plants in this corner right here, and then I also have a little corner here full of plants and plenty of plants hanging up. So I am actually going to start over here. This is my philodendron campii Lynette, and I actually kind of shocked myself with this one because I don't typically go for plants like this. I don't really like all the space they take up. Like, I don't really like the, I guess, self-heading type of growth pattern. But when I saw these leaves and the texture and just how vibrant they were, Like, obviously I had to get it, right? So here it is. I have a Hoya Waiitii right here. Hasn't flowered for me yet, but it's growing steadily, so I can't necessarily complain. And then up here, oh, this guy is one of my favorites, who also hasn't really done anything. But it's my Anthurium Wing Lingerie, and I love this one just because it has those super dark matte leaves that are strappy and get nice and long. So no new leaves on it just yet, but you know, I got my hopes up. I'm hopeful for it. And just look at this gorgeous Mandula Pothos with the leaves getting so big on it now. And the reason why the leaves are getting so big is obviously because of the grow light that's right above it, but yeah, I think this looks phenomenal. Up here is my Peperomia Hope. Definitely the right name for it because I was hoping it wouldn't die for so long. I'm actually kind of shocked that it's not. And not only is it not dying, but it's growing all the way down here too. Like, I struggled with it for so long. Turns out I was watering it too much. So who knew that the secret would just be to neglect it? This one right here is my Philodendron Painted Lady. Not looking that painted right now, but I did have to move it from a way brighter spot to make room for this guy. Not that I play favorites or anything, but do you understand why he had to take priority? Like, number one, the leaves started trying to revert and I was like, oh, no, you don't. So they're coming back around, starting to get with the program. Like, look at this one. As soon as I started seeing this, I was like, no, we're moving to a brighter spot. So that's why I had to move him here and paint a lady. She'll be fine. And just behind this brush here is my Monstera dubia that is looking less than optimal right now, but I'm hopeful that it'll come around to, like, I cut it because it was throwing out all these runners and now it's just kind of growing in this one little area here. So I was like, whatever. Sometimes you got to know when to cut your losses, and I stopped trying to control her a long time ago. And then my Anthurium magnificum, I realized I had a whole bunch of magnificum hybrids, but not the actual magnificum. So here it is. It's cute and it's small and it's growing steadily. So what more can I ask for? Look at that cute little new leaf. On the contrary, though, this is my Philodendron Tortum. The Tortum, at least in my experience, grows so fast and it's steady even in the wintertime, at least in my care. Now, granted, I have it, you know, grow light supplementing and humidifier supplementing, but this is one of the low maintenance plants that I have, and I got it as just a little baby cutting, and I'm just so proud of how far it's come. Yeah, I don't have any complaints at all. Back here, I have a Philodendron Splendid that I have chopped and propped numerous times, and I just want to get it a little bit more full. It is unfortunately looking like I'm gonna have to chop it again. Maybe right there, I don't know. It's going to start growing up on the shelf, kind of like this Tortum is doing, and I don't want that. So there's a propagation video coming soon, it seems, because there's a lot of stuff that needs to be done. And then I have this Philodendron Glorious right here that was struggling too with spider mite, so I ended up putting it right here where it's not getting that, you know, that much light. It was struggling. Like I said, like, humidity was an issue, too much light was an issue. Putting it here seemed to have done the trick. So at this point, I'm just kind of leaving it alone. I do need to get it up on a moss pole sooner than later, which is another thing that is coming soon. I have a lot of plant chores to do, y'all. Oh my gosh. And then this is my Monstera obliqua right here that I love so much, y'all. Oh my gosh, let me take it down. And it was putting out runners for so long. I finally got it to start growing some leaves, and I'm so excited that the leaves are starting to get bigger now. Oh my gosh, I'm so proud. I'm such a proud mama. But yeah, I had to cut off runners like 4 or 5 different times. So we've been through it, but you know what? We're getting somewhere now though. And then I have a Monstera Peru back here, kind of behind this Deliciosa. But yeah, this is another one that I struggle with, getting the leaves to size up. Hell, getting the leaves to even grow at all has been a struggle. But I recently put a grow light a little bit closer to it in hopes that it will maybe do something. And I think that one of the things that may probably help is watering it more often. So yeah, I really do love this plant. So I got everything on this top shelf right here, and I'm gonna actually move downward, or should I move up? I don't know, there's just so many plants. I'll move up. So this is my philodendron Sherbericii. Okay, look how closely related these two look. So this is the Sherbericii here on the left, and then it looks just, well, almost just like the Camphii, but with like different growth pattern, of course. And I'm just trying to point out the fact that I clearly have a thing for this type of leaf, like this corrugated kind of ruffly vein down the middle look. So yeah, it's apparent that I have a type. I love my Sherbericii though. Like, this is the latest leaf, and look how big the leaves are getting. And then I'm really curious to see what this next one's gonna look like. That's gonna be something to look forward to. It came with a little taste of spider mites, but we took care of that. It shipped so well. I didn't have any problems with shipping. Again, it did come with a few spider mites, but I don't think that was shipping related. And I only had to treat it once, and they haven't appeared since then. So it's a very thirsty plant. I do have to make sure to keep it watered. But other than that, like, it's gorgeous. I love how the leaves drop like they're falling off of a cliff. I don't know. It just has a special place in my collection. This is my philodendron goldii here, and we have a love-hate relationship. I love these leaves so much. I love this plant so much, but it is unhappy all the time. And at first it was really easy to care for, but as soon as summer hit, it just kind of, I don't know, it just started getting spider mites. I mean, I guess it doesn't help that these plants up here are in drier air, so they're drying out quicker. It's less humid, and I wasn't watering it the way I should have been, but I love how the leaves grow in that roundabout pattern. Once she gets it together, she's gonna be a force to reckon with. It's just, right now, she's not too happy with me. This is my Syngonium winlandii, and I am super smitten with this one. It's my favorite Syngonium. It's very thirsty though, and I'm tired. So what I'm gonna end up doing is cutting it all the way down. Like, do you see how the leaves are starting to grow off of the moss pole? Well, I'm gonna cut all that down, all the way down to here, and just have it a full bushy plant. These things root so easily. I don't really foresee any issues with it, but yeah, and then I'm going to end up putting it in a different spot as well. But anyway, so one of my faves about this plant is that color, that cream color right down the middle, and then these dark velvety green leaves that have like really deep sinuses. You can't blame me for wanting to have a big full pot of this. I tried the climbing thing, not necessarily a fan right now. Maybe when I get it fuller, it'll look better, but yeah, love this Syngonium, y'all. It's one of the few Syngoniums I actually can't remember the name of. And then I got this plant here from my mom. She called it an earned plant. After some further research, it's a bromeliad. No wonder I didn't know what it was, because I'm not at all a bromeliad fan, but the pink leaves that come in on this, I'm not gonna lie, are gorgeous. Here I just have another little satin pothos. This anthurium I love, got it hanging for right now, but I like how the leaves start off and end in that pointed way. I think that's super cool. Love a good strappy anthurium. It was like 20 bucks, so obviously I snatched it up, and these leaves get as big as a full-size grown man. So doubt it's gonna happen growing here, like in my household conditions, but at least I know that the potential is there. It's something to strive towards, right? And now I'm just moving down here where this Baltic blue is kind of hanging out right there in some pond. That's just a little propagation that I kind of set and forget, and it didn't die, so it's here to stay, I guess. Got another Crimson Princess right there. I went through a phase where I just kept getting these Hoyas. I have no explanation as to why, none at all, but I guess it's just one that I really like. This is one of the Hoyas that I ended up breaking up into a bunch of different pieces, and now I just keep cutting it because it starts to grow down into these other plants. So yeah, this is the outcome, and since the summertime has kind of begun, it started to put out some beautifully colored leaves, which I'm really happy about. So yeah, there's that. This is my Anthurium vitirifolium. I guess this one's doing okay too. That's the newest leaf there. I'm not a fan though of these spiraling out of control leaves, literally spiraling around. I don't really like that for some reason, but obviously this plant is going to do what it wants to do, so not much I can do there. Oh, I forgot about this little cactus back here. I don't know what this is. I found a piece of it on a nursery floor, and I don't really even know which piece that was, but here we are. I mean, it's doing great now. It looks like a pickle, kind of. I kind of really like it. I have another Silta Picana right here. This started off as just a cutting. I was kind of experimenting to see what would happen in different lighting conditions, different growing conditions, and like hanging it versus letting it climb up something. I'll show you one that I have climbing, which is my absolute favorite way to have the Monstera Silta Picana. But yeah, there's that one. Our Marble Queen Pothos just here chilling. No problems out of her, like, ever. And then this was a global green propagation that I started for my sister and keep forgetting that I started it for her. So it's still sitting here waiting for her to come get it. This one is actually a variegated lipstick plant. Obviously the variegation is optional on this one. I don't know, but I thought it was really cute anyway. And I put it in some stratum and it kind of started taking off. So I think I'm just going to leave it in stratum for right now. As you can see, I'm really favoring stratum at the moment. So you'll see a lot of that. This guy was interesting because when he first arrived, he pushed out 2 new leaves like very quickly. So I was under the impression that this was a very fast growing plant. I was wrong. It's a very slow philodendron. It's a very thirsty philodendron. To be fair though, I do have it in this itty bitty pot that very likely needs to be repotted. So that might have a lot to do with it. I mean, I guess that's not so weird, but you pushed out 2 new leaves for me just to stop and never do anything again. That's bizarre. This is my second Pallidiflorum. Well, actually, it's my first one. I got this one first, and then I decided I wanted a bigger one because it just wasn't sizing up the way I wanted it to. I don't know. I was being impatient, I suppose, but now I have 2 of them, so it worked out. This is a Syngonium that I love as well. Oh my gosh, look how gorgeous this is. If you look closely, it looks black, but in person, it actually looks like more of like red glitter. And then the back of the leaves are out of this world. The Syngonium Red Arrow was one that I struggled with for a very long time. So it did stunt the growth of it, but once I got the hang of everything, which I could literally chalk up to just the watering of it, I was just watering it way too often. But now that I have stopped doing that, it's growing like crazy. And then, of course, I couldn't wait to get to this. This is my Philodendron Micans that I decided to put on a moss pole last year, and I'm so glad now that I did. To me, the leaves are just so gorgeous. I have to put them on something that will allow them to size up. This one hasn't sized up as much as I thought it would, simply because I'm not keeping the moss in the pole very moist, so that has a lot to do with it, I'm sure. But either way, all of these like velvety teardrops growing upward is so stunning. Then I have this Florida Bronze right here that's finally starting to look like a Florida Bronze. I got this one as a starter plant, so I'm very pleased with what it's doing right now, and I have it in pond. More than anything on this plant, the shape of the leaves just blows me away. It doesn't look like the other Floridas because it's mixed with that black cardinal, so the nose of the leaf is like really elongated, and that's something that I love a lot. And then of course you can't mention this plant without mentioning the bronze in it. So yeah, looking really good. I tried for a very long time to get this Monstera under control, and then I just gave up because I can't. So yeah, this is my Monstera Deliciosa, and I'll stand back so you can get the full picture of it, but she's kind of all over the place. I've got some beautifully fenestrated leaves, and I feel like people kind of forgot about how gorgeous the regular green Monstera Deliciosa is because there's so many different kinds out there now. Look at the secondary fenestrations on this one. Yeah, I just hope people really still appreciate this one. I definitely do. I have a Cebu Blue Pothos right here, and look at this. It outgrew this moss pole so long ago. I have been saying I was going to extend it for the longest time, so I haven't done it yet, but I'll get around to it eventually. I just keep like wrapping it back around, and it is not having that. It's like, girl, propagate me or extend me, do something. And in the middle is my Skeleton Key Pothos right here. That's not looking Skeleton Key-like yet, but I don't care. I love how pointy the leaves are. It's finally started growing really fast this season. It was just kind of stagnant for a while, so it's finally starting to do something. And then this is my Monstera Silta Picana that I was talking about that I have growing up a moss pole, kind of over the moss pole at this point, but I can say with absolute certainty that I definitely like this look more. I like that the leaves get a little bit bigger, and eventually they will start to fenestrate if you allow them to keep climbing. It's really a lot to manage at the moment, so I haven't done anything with it yet, but I will. Right here is my philodendron pink glory, and at first I was a little bit hesitant about this one just because I already have this summer glory. I already have gloriosums, and gloriosums, y'all, like spider mites, I just get so sick of the spider mites. And I'm not gonna lie, this one got them. This one got spider mites too. That's why it's sitting here. I kind of had to separate her from a few of her peers because of that. I've been treating her left and right, but yeah, it's definitely a gorgeous plant. I just can't with the gloriosum hybrids. They are going to get spider mites every time. And then in this corner right here, I have another sansevieria. I'm not a huge snake plant fan, but like you cannot resist or deny these beautiful leaves. Up here, I have the Platinum Mist Peace Lily. This one is a little bit less dramatic, but she had brown tips too. Don't let her fool you. I just cut them off. But yeah, she had brown tips. I kept forgetting to water her, so there's that. And then of course another philodendron Brazil right there, and then another hanging plant. This is my mother neon pothos that I have propagated a million times and have all over the house. And in this crooked little, let's straighten that up. Okay, so yeah, I got another propagation of a what am I trying to say, golden pothos right there. That is actually well rooted and needs to be potted up. So we've covered everything here, and now I have the fun task of grabbing a chair so I can show you guys a few things that I have hanging just above this window right here. You guys will have to excuse the lighting because we're kind of going to have to work against the window and the grow lights, but this is my Hoya compacta. Hasn't really done much, but you know, these are notorious for growing on the slower end, so I'm not expecting it to do a whole lot right now. It's close enough to a grow light to where I can expect more growth than usual, but like I said, you know, I don't have my hopes up too high about it. This is my Syngonium albo, and for it to be right in front of a south-facing window, I am kind of stunned at how much it has not been growing. It probably doesn't help to have it right under a vent either. It's facing the window, so I do have to rotate it. So I just, every week I just come in here and rotate it, and it does what it does. I'm well aware that I need to find a new spot for it. And this cute disco planter, I'm so sorry that you can't see it that well because of the window, but this is my Hoya bicolor. Still haven't found out why it's called a bicolor because I only see green, but more to come on that, I suppose. I have no idea what this Hoya is, you guys. No idea. I got it very impulsively and then tried to rip the label off because it's just not cute. And well, you see that was to no avail, but now I don't know the name of my Hoya. So I'm sure one of you guys knows in the comment section down below. Please let me know which Hoya this is. This is one of my favorite Hoyas of all time, especially since I got it when it was so small. And now the leaves are like almost the size of my hand. It's just incredible to me. So at the time that I got it, it was called the Hoya Isensis. I don't know, maybe it's been like reclassified or renamed since then, but it is definitely insane how much it's grown, how quickly it grows. I also just have a thing for big leaf Hoyas, so that probably has a lot to do with it. And then I have this Prepicalix here. Look at this weird shaped guy right there. So yeah, not as splashy as a few of my other ones, even though it's in front of this really bright window, but it is growing quite a lot, if I must say so myself. And this was a no idea in my collection for a long time. I believe now that it's the Philodendron radiatum, or maybe it's not even classified as a philodendron anymore, but yeah, it's here. When I got this, believe it or not, y'all, it was huge, and I cut it into so many different plants, and it was labeled the Philodendron Florida. Definitely not a Florida, but that was like 2 years ago. And yeah, I still have never seen it in a nursery again since then. So that's everything on that side of the room. Next, we get to do this section of the room. And I'm so excited to show you guys everything here. I had a lot of new stuff here as well. So yeah, let's just knock it right on out. This is my global green pothos, and it's just two like really long strands that kind of go all the way down. It just grows very weird and disorganized to me now. And it's, I mean, I wouldn't get rid of it, but I wouldn't get another one. I also have this heartleaf philodendron right here. It was going all the way up this pole, which is the reason why I have such a tall one in here. One of the vines completely uprooted from the leca, And so an entire vine of them just died, and I took it out. It's fine. These grow fast. And so I know it'll be back up this pole in no time. Plus it kind of clashes with the global green, so it's whatever. This was my very first ever pink princess, and I got it as a tissue culture, kept it in the cabinet, and it never really did much. I've cut it back numerous times. You saw the cuttings in the first, well, you saw a cutting in the first video, and it really just doesn't impress me at all. So it's just kind of there. This is my Philodendron squamiferum, and I got this about 3 years ago, actually at Walmart. And at the time, it was kind of a big deal to have found this at Walmart. Look at those fuzzy petioles, y'all. Anyway, so it was really big when I got it, and I had it in leca, and when I went to repot it, it was just so rooted into the leca. Long story short, I completely broke it off at the base, and so I was like, okay, I'll just take all the cuttings and reroot all the cuttings. Well, only one of them made it, so this is the one that made it. It's starting to finally kind of grow back, but it'll be a while before it reaches the point that it was, you know, that it was at to begin with. This is another one of those Cotonanthes that I showed you in part 1 of the plant tour, and this one is always blooming. I say always. I don't know if it's actually blooming right now. Yeah, you can see a cute little flower on there, a few more on their way. This one used to live in the greenhouse cabinet, and it kind of started taking up a lot of space, so I ended up moving it here, and since I moved it here, it just doesn't bloom as much. This is my Philodendron plymanii, and it has been driving me crazy, driving me insane. It continuously gets spider mites. I have it in leca. I bet you if I look close enough, I can find spider mites on it right now. I don't want to though, it'll ruin my day. But I've lost about 4 leaves on it since I started it over, and it looks like I'm just going to keep losing them. I don't know how much longer this plant is going to last in my collection. It might be under like too much light. So I've been thinking about relocating it, putting it somewhere else. And yeah, there's really no reason why I haven't yet. It's just here. And back behind it, this is my Philodendron orange marmalade. I think I want to take it down for you guys to see it. This is actually really similar, in my opinion, to the Painted Lady, but it has way better variegation, I think. And I got this from Chimera Tropicals. Look how many plants are actually in the pot. Anyway, I think I should get it up on some kind of support soon, and maybe think about taking some of those plants out of there. I don't know. What do y'all think? And then we have the second shelf. I'll start back here. This is another one of those Hoya ring sands that I got. I didn't break it up from the first one. I actually just saw this plant twice and ended up getting it twice because it was so pretty. It has almost a blue color to it, and in contrast with the splashiness on here, I just think it's worth having 2 of them. It is growing a little bit crazy and wild right now. I probably should get it up on a trellis, but plant chores, people, plant chores. Look how it's growing up onto this other Hoya. Speaking of this Hoya, this is my Hoya Cumminggiana, however you say it. And I actually originally got this for the flower. I saw one of these in bloom at a plant swap. I didn't get it then, but when I saw it at a big box store, obviously I went ahead and picked it up. It came with this little trellis, and y'all, it is well past time to repot this and put it on a new trellis, but I'm really trying to get it to flower. It grows really quickly, so I do think I'm gonna have to stop trying to wrap it around here over and over and go ahead and repot it, stop being in denial. But yeah, there's that. The leaves are kind of insignificant to me. They don't really hold any like special powers to me, but you know, it's cute when it's in bloom. And this Syngonium, remember this in part 1. This is a cutting from my Syngonium Milk Confetti from downstairs, and the other one has almost no pink. It's kind of like a darker green, and I just want to show you guys what a difference the proper lighting makes on this plant. Like I said, this is actually a cutting from the one downstairs, and they look vastly different, and the only difference is that I have this one under a grow light. So this Tradescantia is so not my style, but it was a rescue from a big box store. It was overwatered, it was rotting, in general just in really bad shape, so I brought it home and brought it back to life a little bit, but then I started killing it. So once I caught on to what was going on, I I brought it back to life again. So it's been revived twice, and it's doing a whole lot better now. Look how pretty the leaves are. Like I said, this is not my style of plant like at all, but yeah, I couldn't pass this one up. This is my golden crocodile. It's kind of a big deal to me because I got it as such a small plant. It was just a little baby seedling when I first got it. It was just a bunch of itty bitty little baby shapeless leaves. Look how pretty it is now. It's getting so big. I look at all these old videos of it and I realize it's getting bigger right before my eyes. Like every time I see it, it has a new leaf on it. It's been giving me a lot of joy lately. This is my alocasia. What is this? The black velvet. And I'm finally getting to the point where I have more than 3 leaves on it at a time. But it looks like one of the leaves is actually on its way out anyway. So I'm still going to have 3. But I had to get into a new habit of watering it more often since I took it out of the cabinet. It basically outgrew the cabinet and I was trying to water it as if it were still in the cabinet. That wasn't working out. It seems like I have it under control now and we can be back to our regular scheduled watering. I philodendron micans right here. This was more so an aesthetic choice for me. So I ended up propagating this from another plant that I had just so I could have something on this shelf that basically dropped down and like grew downward. And then I have my peperomia prostrata or string of turtles right here. This is another big deal for me. You can see it drops down and then it's kind of going crazy right now. I had to cut this one all the way back. And then the few pieces that did droop over at the time, I ended up just wrapping them around the top of the pot. And it really made a big difference. This plant started growing like crazy. It started getting way fuller and we're just kind of waiting on it to fill out all around. The next layer is kind of a bunch of plants that need to be moved off the shelf, to be honest, because they're starting to outgrow the shelf. I'll start right here. My philodendron Houseplant. I think that it has some really good genetics. I mean, it is super variegated. Every leaf comes out looking phenomenal, I think. So they start off kind of this cream color, but you can see here that it's starting to go that light green, like it'll end up looking like this. And it looks like there are 2 or 3 plants actually in this pot. I was thinking about separating them. I'm still kind of undecided on that right now. What I do know for sure though is that it definitely needs to be up on a moss pole. You can see I got roots all over the place, but it's very healthy. It's very happy. I'm very happy with it and I can't wait for those leaves to get like massive so I can really show off the color. But yeah, even right now it's looking really great. Behind my Houseplant is this philodendron white knight. I keep meaning to give it away, but I also keep forgetting to give it away because it's in the back. But whatever, I have another one downstairs and plants that aren't that super special to me lately, I've been trying to get rid of duplicates of. That leaf is looking really good though. Behind it is my Hoya pachyglata, however you say it. This is the original, the one that I got as a cutting from my grandma. And in this container, I have it in pond and I have kind of neglected it because I just know that it's going to be a nightmare to repot. So I've just been leaving it as is. Occasionally though, I do cut off, like I'll cut this off down here and root it in some stratum and then have yet another one of them. So I don't know what my rhyme or reason is to it. It is very special to me because like I said, I got it from my grandma and I don't want anything bad to happen to it. So I think that I'm overcompensating by making duplicates of it just in case. And then back here, I just have a really wild and crazy fishbone cactus that I just water occasionally. But other than that, I just leave it alone and it's doing what it wants to do. This plant right here is actually really cool. So it's obviously not looking like a whole lot right now, but this is actually a hybrid of the philodendron rugosum and the philodendron ruby juvenile. So I think it's going to be really interesting to see, especially when this new leaf unfurls. I don't think is a good depiction of it right now because they're all damaged and like kind of crazy looking. So this is the first leaf that it'll have in my care. I almost want to unfurl it myself. I'm not going to, but yeah, I'm really excited to see what this is going to look like. This philodendron ernestii red is like my freaking pride and joy right now, you guys. The leaves in the front are absolutely gorgeous. The stems are red. The leaves have so much depth and texture. But then you turn it around to the back and the backs are red and they stay red. It is a crawler. So to me, that kind of sucks for space reasons. Like you can see here that it is growing out of the pot, and because it's kind of in nothing, it seems like the leaves might be a little bit smaller, but it grows so fast I can't keep up with it. I don't know what I'm going to end up doing with it. It is just such a gorgeous plant, you guys. It is so vibrant. It's so beautiful. Other than the fact that it's a crawler, this gets a 10 out of 10 for me. And we're moving right along. This is my alocasia reginae. This is one of my favorite alocasias, mainly because it's not hard to care for. Like I don't have to deal with a bunch of pest issues with it. I did lose a leaf due to overwatering, but overall Like, it's had 4 leaves in my care. And depending on which angle you're looking from, the leaves can look black. They can kind of look like a silver dusted blue. They can look like a lighter green. It's like color changing paint. I just love this plant. I love this color. And like I said, very easy to care for. Look at the texture on it though. It's just crazy. Definitely one of my favorite alocasias. Next to it is a cross between the Philodendron gloriosum and the Philodendron esplendi. So you can see the vein from the gloriosum, but the narrowness and the length of the leaf in general is more so of the esplendi. This is kind of a new leaf here. Actually, I'm going to pull it out so you can see the whole thing. Okay, here we have it. I would not really consider this an easy care plant. It's kind of been a bit of a nuisance. Oh my gosh, but it's so pretty. Goodness gracious. It's kind of been a bit of a nuisance. Look at this new leaf. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Look how freaking gorgeous, y'all. Oh my goodness gracious. It is gorgeous. Anyways, I was saying it has been a bit of a nuisance with spider mites, just like every other one of my gloriosum hybrids. So basically these don't want to dry out completely. And if they do dry out completely for more than like a day, then you can definitely look forward to some webbing, but certainly worth the trouble in my opinion, because just look how gorgeous. Definitely worth the trouble. And this one's kind of hiding behind it. This is another one that I have to look out for spider mites on. This one mainly has issues because I need to repot it and still haven't done so yet, but this is my Philodendron bleeding heart. Okay, buddy, you can kind of move out the way, even though you are such a star. So again, the Philodendron bleeding heart, this is a hybrid of some sort too. I don't know exactly what it is, but these leaves are crazy. The mature ones kind of go black and they're very wavy and whimsical, which is another thing that I love about this one. I feel like once I get it repotted, then it'll be in better shape. It's not like in horrible shape right now, but I just know it could be better. It could get bigger. So I'm actually kind of shocked that I even have this. Like I've mentioned several times in this video and past others, this isn't my favorite type of growth pattern, but a few of them do stand out to me and then I'll snatch them up, and this just happens to be one of them. Moving down here, this is my Philodendron Choco Empress, and this is another one of those serrated ones. The growth from this guy is crazy. It's starting to lean a lot whenever I handle it or pick it up, so it's well beyond time for a moss pole or some kind of support in here. But look at this, you guys. Look how red, well, copper the leaves come in. And for this plant, I guess because there's 2 different plants in here, maybe, possibly, I always get 2 leaves at a time. So how rewarding is that? They do eventually end up being green, but oh my goodness, you guys, I love this plant so much. And then right next to it is a bit of an odd one. These are super stiff and thick. This is a Pallidiflorum Gaiusa, if I'm saying that correctly, and obviously it's a hybrid of the Pallidiflorum, but I can't find a whole lot of information. Can barely even find pictures of this in its mature state, so it must be, you know, a bit of a newer hybrid. Yeah, give me all the different Pallidiflorums that you have. I will take all of them. This is a new leaf that came out, and I figured, okay, we're gonna get like a better idea of what these leaves look like, because you know with anthuriums you can't judge the baby leaves. They kind of change a lot over time, so, well, depending on which one you get. So yeah, this one didn't tell me a whole lot. There is one more coming in right there, so I guess we'll just wait and see. And then here's my Veitchii. I've had this one for a very long time. This is actually one of my oldest plants, which doesn't say a whole lot because it has 4 leaves on it. It's incredibly slow, but then I've changed it from soil to pond to lucca, back to pond. I've done a whole lot with this one. So we have had a few casualties because of that, but I decided I'm gonna leave it in the pond this time and just let it grow and leave it alone. So that's what I've been doing, and it has pushed out this new leaf since then. Whatever. I mean, they're not really sizing up that much, but that's my fault, so what can I say? And right here is a bit of an obvious one. It is my Monstera Thai constellation. I got this one as a little baby. It's still not as big as it should be. For about 9 months, it didn't do anything. This is the latest leaf, but I don't know what was going on for that 9-month period. I have been seeing these in big box stores. I decided I'm not gonna get another one. Not right now, at least. I don't really have anywhere to put it. Like basically there's other stuff that I want more that could be filling in those spots that I create. So So it's doing okay. It finally started growing again. Yeah, we got growth, and I'm not super pressed for this to get massive yet because you kind of see what happens when the monsteras get big. So I'm not in any rush to have to find another spot for a plant this size. Now we get to talk about this corner back here. I have my philodendron micans right here growing on this mannequin, and the idea is to get it to completely fill out the mannequin, and then it'll look like a philodendron mican dress. So I think that'll be a really cool feature once I get it to, you know, grow a little bit more, but it has grown quite a bit already. So, and then you can see back there we have some leaves trying to get on the wall. I'm not gonna let them, but they do try to sneak every now and again, and you can't really see it anymore, but it's a really cute little planter that it's in as well. So yeah, that's doing pretty good. This is my Hoya crassipediolata, and I've cut this one a few times. The vines kind of start to go a little bit crazy. I don't mind it, I guess, but I don't want them. Look, it's still going. I don't even know where this vine ends. Oh my gosh, it ends right here. So yeah, that is essentially why I have to keep cutting it. But I quickly realized that cutting it over and over, it's still going to do that. So it doesn't even matter. Just leave it alone. So that's what I'm doing. I'm just leaving it alone. I have a global green pothos propagating right there. Likely super rooted in that little vessel, but you know, it's cute there. So I just left it. And up here are some of my favorites. So this is my new little Polynera. I showed you guys in part one, the other one that I have, but I decided this is going to be another Hoya that I obsess over and have to get every version of it. So I started on that, but look how pretty this is. Oh my gosh, I love it so much. I have it in stratum because it's kind of new still. It's pushed out about 4 new leaves since I got it last month, which is pretty fast. I also have it in my naked root planter, which is something I'll tell you guys about here shortly. I actually want to take it up and see. So I want to look to see if there's any roots poking out. No roots poking out yet, but it looks to be in really good health, really happy, growing very quickly. I just feel kind of obsessed with it, honestly. I have a Hoya lacunosa up there as well that I realized the other day was in bloom. So I was just up there watering everything the other day, and it kind of scared me at first, but oh my gosh, what a pleasant little surprise. And look how cute these little blooms are. Very pleasant surprise. Why is it that whenever I propagate my Hoyas, the little propagations bloom before the mother plant does? Is it because of the roots? I don't know. Got a Hoya Crimson Princess, another propagation. This guy is a Peperomia Parallel or something like that I got a little while ago and almost killed completely. Basically, I was overwatering it, so it seems to be happier now. Check this lipstick plant out, you guys. Oh my goodness. Is it not so pretty? It almost looks like it's hugging whatever pot you put it in. I just love this plant, which is why I've divided it into 3 different plants and have them upstairs and downstairs. Can't forget, hiding under here is my Hoya, what is this, Croniana Eskimo? Doing really good. It struggled for a little while. I thought I was going to lose it, but it's bounced back, and the leaves are getting nice and big now. So very happy with everything in this corner. And you can't really tell, but there's also a massive Florida down here too, just going in every direction. There's some of it there that you can see. It's all over the place. Just like my mother philodendron mayoi right here, a bunch of leaves right there. And then, oh my gosh, I have 3 freaking leaves unfurling. I have 3 leaves unfurling at one time. I just noticed that. That is incredible. Do you see them? So there's 1, 2, 3 leaves at once. Crazy. And then my Anthurium cupulospathum right here. I think I have to take it out. So here we are, the Anthurium cupulospathum inverse crossing. This plant I think is really unique. I love this part of it. Like, I love that type of sinus on a leaf. And then I even have a brand new leaf coming in, which is super exciting. This one is also in my naked root planter. The naked root sent me a couple of these, and then I liked them a lot. They sent me 3, and then I went ahead and ordered 14 more of them. I really like them because they allow the plant to breathe. You just have to figure out when to fill that reservoir up. They prune your roots. I mean, there's even a little pocket right here where you don't even have to pick the plant up to water it or to fill that reservoir up. And my plants that I put in these pots do really, really well. And you can also get them for 20% off if you use my discount code. I will leave the details and the link in the description box, but highly recommend. So I have 2 more plants down in this corner. This one is from Equigenera. It is the Anthurium Sparkling River, and it's actually doing really good. I saw this one on a live sale, had to snatch it up. The texture and the color of it all just really gets me, and then it also has that white sinus that I like. So this is definitely going to be a hybrid fave of mine. And for the most part, it's been really low maintenance. And then there's this crazy guy. This is actually a really new leaf. It is super dark. I know there is Nigrolaminum GG in it. I know there's Carla Blackier. And then there's a third one. I just can't remember what it is, but oh my gosh, absolutely gorgeous. Now we're going to dive into everything that I have inside of these cabinets. I guess I can start at the top in this one. I was on the fence about this Hoya at first, but now it is really starting to grow on me. It just seemed like a little bit of a diva at first. Now I'm starting to understand it a little bit better. It doesn't like to dry out completely. It likes higher humidity. Even right now, this is a little bit on the drier end, and you can see those leaves are starting to kind of curl under. In a way, they do that regardless, but this one is a little bit more on the extreme end, so it does need to be in some water, but I can appreciate the color and splashiness of this plant along with those really cool oval shaped leaves. And then I have my, what is this, the Hoya retusa. This one is on the newer end. I've only had it for about a month, and I saw it in the nursery and wondered, why don't I have this one already? So I got it, and I'm kind of bummed out because I wish I had gotten it sooner, but I'm just waiting on it to get bigger. This one is hiding a little bit, so you can't see it, but look at this guy. Got a little bit of leaf damage right there, but oh my gosh, you guys, how gorgeous is this plant? It's called like a Eucharum or Ochrum, I don't know, I'll put it on the screen. Silver Cloud, I believe, and it's a new import. It doesn't really even have roots yet, so I'm assuming this might be a little bit more on the difficult end, honestly. I looked these up online, and I haven't really seen any like mature versions of these growing in homes, but I'm hoping to change that. Oh my gosh, I don't think they get very big, but they are so freaking cute. This is just a propagation. I'll show you guys the mother plant in a second. It looks like it's pretty rooted now, so I probably could put it back into the pot, but I saw little signs of some spider mites not too long ago, so I've just been examining it a little bit closer lately, but yeah, this is definitely ready to go back into the pot. I just had it here propagating. Here is another Ripsalis. It's kind of starting to grow downward. It was struggling for a little while, so I had to put it in here, and that seemed to bring it back. I just have to remember to keep it watered. My Anthurium radicans luxurians right here. This plant I actually had to start all the way over from just a wet stick. It's growing pretty steadily now. I don't know what the problem was with it before. It just was not happy with me at all. So I was losing leaf after leaf, and now it seems to be doing a whole lot better. But look at the beautiful texture of these leaves. This was supposed to be a very difficult one to keep alive. I'm gonna have to put it on the floor so y'all can see it, or on the sofa. Like I was saying, this was supposed to be very difficult to keep alive. So almost immediately I had to put it in stratum. So that's what it's in right now. And then I saw that these needed super high humidity and that they also liked it to be cooler. The high humidity I got under control, but the cooler part, not so much. In fact, it's quite warm. So I think we may be able to do this without it being cooler. But yeah, it's a really pretty plant. It has really good texture. The leaves are slightly wavy. It's got those white sinuses. It kind of reminds me of an Anthurium, but I'm getting pretty steady growth from it. I don't really have to deal with too many problems. It did have spider mites one time. I was letting it dry out too much, which I noticed a trend when I let plants that don't like to dry out. That's when they are susceptible to pests. Some of my plants like to dry out. Some of them can handle it. Some of them prefer it. This one, not so much. So I have to keep a closer eye on it now, but it really is a very beautiful plant. And then right here, I have my Anthurium regale. Look at this, pushing out 2 leaves at a time. You go, girl. This one struggled for a little while too. I had to cut several leaves off of it. This one I didn't cut off. I just cut off most of the leaf. So yeah, now that I have it in the cabinet and I'm keeping a closer eye on it, it's definitely doing a whole lot better. As you can see, it's very happy. I love a veiny Anthurium, but I especially love this one because the veins are so neat and orderly on it, and that's something that I love about it. But yep, seems to be doing really, really well now. I have an Anthurium Maharani right here that I kind of forgot about, honestly. It is in moss, and I started this one from just some corms, and this is where we are now. It's actually it's been time for it to be potted up. So I don't know what I'm doing with this still in moss, but I mean, I guess it's not really complaining. I do still need to get it potted up immediately. And then this right here is my rugosum. It's growing, but the leaves aren't really sizing up. This is the one that they call the pigskin philodendron because it kind of feels like skin. I mean, literally, it feels like you could stretch this plant. And I always point out how much I love the parameter of it, how they are almost like laminated, or they just look really cool to me. The plant just is so awesome. I really want the leaves to size up, but unfortunately it is looking like I need to chop it right there just to get it a little bit fuller. I don't want it to necessarily just be one vine. I need to repot it too, because look at that soil. Like, that's ridiculous. I have an Aglaonema. I think this one is like called the firecracker or something. It's really cute, but not necessarily something I want to keep. So I know I'm giving this to my sister. The more it grows though, the more I'm like, maybe I want to keep it, but I already told her I was giving it to her, so now I have to. But there is 2 plants in here, so we have twin plants. I'm getting the bigger one though. Back here we have the Bessie AFF. This one came from Ecuagenera too, and the leaves are pretty damaged. Those first 2 leaves they didn't travel well. So I'm hopeful that this next one it's looking like it's gonna be, a perfect one in really good shape and health. So yeah, it's so pretty. They are so cute when they're unfurling or when they're emerging or hardening off or whatever. They just start off so tiny. So this is like a week of growth, and I'm just wondering how much bigger it's going to get if, these are the older leaves. Then yeah, this next one should be pretty big, right? We have back here a Melanochrysum that needs to be propagated and chopped up a little bit more. I just have these all over the place, it seems. And then my Amedrium silva right here. This one's it's really annoying. No matter what kind of light or care I give it, it still ends up getting leggy. So I just decided to stop trying to kind of curate how it grows and just let it grow how it wants to. Still leggy. So whatever. Okay, we got everything on the top shelf covered. Now we can go ahead and move down here. All right, right here we have the plant So Nice. I had to have it twice. It's another Syngonium Red Arrow, and this is just a little propagation that I took off of it, and it's growing pretty nicely in here. And right back here I have a string of bananas, or is it string of dolphins? No, it's string of bananas back here. It was also struggling for a really long time. I mean, it was in horrible shape. So I put it in here, and it seems to be coming around now. I have a cutting from my Esmeraldance right here. It was getting really leggy in the cabinet downstairs, so I ended up cutting this top leaf off and putting it in a moss, and nothing that I can see at least. So we're just waiting on that. Oh my gosh, y'all, I could not wait to show you this one. Oh my goodness. If you've been on my channel for a while, you've seen this already, but goodness gracious. So this is the Hoya carnosa Flamingo Dream, and it is a dream indeed. This is literally like my dream Hoya. For real. Look how pink these leaves are. I mean, look at this one. They eventually turn this creamy color. There's still an undertone of pink on it, but they come in so vibrant, so fuchsia. It is such an amazing plant. I'm so glad that I have it. I don't ever want to part from this. It is just it's everything. Back here is a Paraiso Verde. It's a cutting that I took from one of the ones that had reverted to all green. And really, I just want to test out the theory that heat would help it be more variegated. Well, it turns out that's probably true because I have it on this heat mat down here, and it's getting really bright light. So I'm thinking it's the heat that is really activating the color in here. But as I said, it was just an experiment. I already have a pretty big one. I don't know that I need another one. I don't really cherish this enough to have more than one of them, I guess. So this is likely gonna go to my sister. It has some really good roots in it. As you can see, y'all, these grow so fast. So if I ever do want another one, then I could easily just cut another one, put it on a heat mat, and do it all over again. So yeah, I really need to get this out of here because it's taking up a lot of space. This guy I really love. So this is my Stephania erecta. When I saw this plant for the first time, I immediately became obsessed with it. These lily pads flat looking leaves. I think it looks so quirky and different, and I think it's even better when you put it like on a trellis when more of those leaves start to come in. Oh my gosh, I'm so happy that this is finally growing now. It is one of my favorite plants, and I've been doing some research on other plants like this. I kind of want to start getting a few more of them. So yeah, just very happy with it. You'll be seeing a lot more of this on my Instagram. Back here, I have the Ripsalis, I think, what is it? Paradoxa, if I'm not mistaken, in this cute little owl pot. And this pot is feeling mighty light right now, so it obviously needs some water, but yeah, just another cute. I like Ripsalis, I'm learning. Back here is my strawberry shake. I got it as a 1-leaf cutting, so it was just this leaf right here when I first got it, and it's growing pretty steadily. The variegation is looking pretty good on it. This looks like nothing right now, and it kind of is, but it's the Anthurium regale crossed with the Moronense, and I got 2 little growth points coming in right there. I got this one for, it wasn't the $60 that's written on here. I got this for like $15 because they were selling them as, you know, just chunks. But yeah, I'm okay with chunks depending on the plant. I'm okay with the chunks because I feel like if you have the patience to wait for it to grow, then you end up with a really beautiful plant at a really good price. And believe me, I'm not in a rush to get plants massive right now. Not all of them, at least. I forgot what this one is. Let me see if it's actually on the label. This is a Philodendron Villa Magense Pangui. I don't really know a lot about this. I looked it up and still couldn't find a whole lot about this. So I got it more out of curiosity, and I still haven't seen much happening with it yet, so you guys are gonna have to wait with me on that one. So we've gotten everything in this cabinet. We can move on to this one. This second one is the newest one that I got. It's the latest one that I got. So I will start at the top again. This is a little Monstera cutting that I got from my mom. So it's rooted really well in this. It hasn't even been a month, and this is already super rooted. Stratum again for the win, people. I also really haven't been doing a lot of plant chores lately, just watering them. I've just been like super busy. This was another one of those $15 chunks. It is, well, nothing right now, but it is going to be the Anthurium nigrolaminum GG. Nothing has happened in here yet besides moss growing. This was an Anthurium that I cut for one reason or another, and I never labeled it, so now I'm not sure what it is, but I kind of think it may be my Anthurium pterodactyl. I don't know yet. The leaves just have to size up a little bit more. So yeah, we're still waiting on that to get bigger. I also have my Philodendron serpents right here. I don't have very good luck with the serpents. I've had 2 that have died prior to this one, so either I'm insane or I am just insistent, or a little bit of both. But the other 2 that I got prior to this one were both very large plants, like pretty mature ones, and it's like they go into shock or something. So I decided to get just kind of a seedling size one and see how that did, and this is a much better route to go. And I've got my variegated Adansonii. I hope it's as easy as the regular Adansonii because the regular one has been doing so well for me. So this is in the cabinet, still hasn't been potted up because it is still fairly new. In fact, most of the plants in here are fairly new. This Anthurium was also a sell one. It was actually $15, not $25, but it's the Magnificent Paradise. It's another Anthurium hybrid. I feel like the light may be a little bit too bright for it, like it's a little bit too close to the grow light, but it's been doing okay, I guess. It looks a little off right now. This guy is also pretty new. It's the Anthurium catuquense. I hope I'm saying that right. I'm probably not. Likely I'm not saying it right. This was such an interesting one. When I look at the mature ones online, each leaf is actually like 3 leaves, which is weird. Which is another reason why I had to have it, because I like weird plants, obviously. But yeah, I got a new leaf coming in on it. It's been very, very slow. Another Anthurium in here. I don't know what's going on here. Is it getting scorched? Like, is it too hot? I don't know. I don't know what's going on here, but it flowers quite often. So it flowers and then I just leave it alone and it flowers again, and it's flowered 4 times since I've gotten it. And then a Hoya Wyatii, just for the heck of it. A Syngonium something. I don't know. Crinkly little leaves. Yeah, I keep meaning to give this one to my sister because it's just not doing it for me, but it's here. And right here, I'm not even pulling it out, but This is my watermelon peperomia. Looking pitiful. It's never really looked good ever. So whatever, it's looking better than it used to, and for it to be looking so poor still says a lot about how it used to look. And last but not least, up here I have my Anthurium lutheri stump. I didn't want to cut this one, but I had to. I couldn't get it to do right, and I was worried, so I needed 2 of them. So the other one, the top of this is rooting in stratum downstairs, and we're gonna have them race to see who can do the most the fastest. And then there's the bottom. So a few wish list plants in here. I'll start here at the top with my philodendron Florida Ghost. Looking nice and ghostly, looking very cute, and it's growing pretty fast. I'm really proud of how he's been doing. And a Hoya chicken farm right here. Ooh, so this happened to my Hoya chicken farm. I don't know why really, but I really wanted this Hoya, so I hope it's gonna be okay. I really do. We do have a really long tendril, so that means it's growing fine, I guess, but nothing much to see here. I got this one from a plant show that I went to recently. I mean, it's one leaf. I got this philodendron as a cutting. It's the philodendron Holtstolti. How do you say it? Holt something. But anyway, it has these long, like strappy leaves, and then these little pointed ears at the top. I think it looks so cool. This, ladies and gentlemen, oh my gosh, I can't believe I have this, is my Manila's Pride. So it's been in this cabinet for about a month, and I'm a little bit scared to repot it. It did come slightly damaged, but it's pushing out this new leaf right here. Oh my goodness, y'all. This variegation on here is crazy. Not a fan of the all white leaves. I understand it happens sometimes, so it's all good, but I see green and cream on this next one. I'm so excited. I got it on a live sale. It was imported and it was pretty hot when it got here, so I was a little bit worried, but it's got a lot of potential. I'm really excited for it. I am so wrong for how much I need to either extend the moss pole, which is like right here, or I either need to like cut all of this off. I've been really slacking lately. I've just been so busy, so I feel like I'm gonna end up cutting it and maybe a little bit right here. I don't know, maybe I'll just extend the moss pole. I'll let you guys tell me what you think I should do. Gosh, it's been growing so much, and plus I just kind of like push it up against this wall, so does that count? No, probably not. That has to count for something, some kind of support, right? Oh my gosh, and look at this Anthurium. This is my Anthurium boboense. Isn't it weird? Like, I don't know. It looks like, I don't know how to describe it. This is the new leaf that was unfurling on it while it was shipping, so there was a lot of damage done to it. And is there anything else coming in? I don't see anything else coming. It's fine. Look how crazy this leaf looks. I don't even know how to describe it. It took a while for me to like this plant, but it's almost like comical how undefined this leaf is. This is the other epipremnum. Isn't this an epipremnum? Like giganteum or something that gets big. So yeah, I have this one. It's been growing very slowly, honestly, but it might actually be time for a moss pole, maybe somewhere down the line. Yeah, it's time, but it's so pretty. I think that the leaves look like feathers. My Anthurium subsignatum, that was kind of starting to look kind of like, I don't know, what's happening here? What is this situation? So I ended up cutting this leaf off, but then I left this one on. I don't know, but there's something else growing in right there. So I don't like this. I don't like this look. My philodendron angel. So as it matures, this color in the middle of the leaf actually starts to like disperse and it resembles an angel. It's really, really pretty. When I first got this plant, it was in awful shape and it was having a hard time recovering. So what I did was I chopped it all the way up, took it straight to the chop shop, bunch of different cuttings, put them all in stratum, and they started growing like crazy also. And here's my result. Now it's growing steadily. And all of that took about 4 months. It took me about 4 months to get it to this point. So it's a pretty fast grower. My Anthurium Ivan Portier. This is a hybrid of something, I'm sure, but I don't remember what. So if I can find it, I'll put it on the screen. But oh my gosh, look at this newest leaf. Just It looks like patent leather, doesn't it? So freaking pretty. Such a gorgeous shape on these leaves. And as they get bigger, they get more wavy. It is so gorgeous and out of this world. It's like magical how pretty this is. So there's one leaf, here's one, and then the latest one. So we're doing okay for now. And the last thing in this cabinet, can we first just talk about the underside on these leaves? Because oh my goodness, it's like the color gets more pronounced as it matures. It looks like it was colored on by color pencil. It's so pretty. I love it so much, y'all. Look at that. So cute. However, we have a little situation right here. Yeah, I'm thinking about going ahead and taking this one to the chop shop instead of extending the moss pole, because we could stand to get it a little bit fuller, right? And it looks like these are going to be an easy propagation case here. So, I mean, what the heck? Why not? But yes, a quite remarkable plant indeed. On top of these cabinets, I have my philodendron billet. Looking so good, y'all. He's getting so freaking big. Can you believe that I got this as a starter plant? I mean, just look at the growth of it now. He has grown into a very handsome young man. And right next to him, I'll have to pull it out for you to really see it. This is my philodendron pastazanum, I think silver cloud or silver. I've actually lost 2 leaves due to spider mites, but that's okay. Beautiful coloring on these leaves here. I think we're gonna end up being okay with this one now, as long as I keep a close eye on it. Oh my goodness, it's like a tangled mess up here, y'all, so don't judge me. And my philodendron delsinckii, or is it dellinksii? I don't remember, but yeah, I got this guy. He looks just like the letter T, doesn't he? So he was very bare all throughout here. So what I did was I put Kiki paste right there and right there, and we see the results of that. And then I also showed you guys the cutting that I have down in this cabinet, just right there, like going all the way up there. So we're gonna repot that in here, kind of hide those ugly spots, and then we're good to go. I have a philodendron bicolor. I don't know why he just won't do right. I don't get it. So I propagated him too, and he rooted actually, I think. Yeah, so he rooted and I potted him back up, and that's kind of what this is. And we have some growth right here. So he's got a lot going on. And look at this monster here. This is my philodendron African Fantasy. So big now. The leaves are just massive, you guys. Like, look at that. So it's a hybrid. Oh my gosh, this leaf is my favorite. Look at that. Amazing. So yeah, it's a hybrid of the Goldie Eye and the Selim. It has such big leaves. I don't know what I'm going to do when there's more than 3-ish on here. I'm going to be in trouble. So I don't know. I'm always going to end up finding a spot for this guy because I love him so much, and they grow pretty slowly, thank goodness, because I would be in trouble. But yeah, this is a very, very impressive plant. I have a philodendron fuzzy petiole right here. This was actually a propagation from my mother plant, and you probably won't see her for a while because she's outside for the summer, but growing in a little bit awkward. And that's cool because I know what the potential is. So I think we'll be okay. I have a green ZZ right here in Lucca, and then a Rhaphidophora tetrasperma right here that I also keep forgetting to take to my sister. So at this point, you guys have seen everything in my collection except for a few that I got over the weekend. Let me know if you guys are interested in an unboxing or watching me knock out a few of the mini plant chores that I need to tackle. And I look forward to seeing you guys in the next video. Bye!